So there's this mother, right? She has three daughters: Rose, Lily, and Brick. Rose goes up to her mother and she's like, "How did I get my name, mother?" And the mom was like, "Well, on the way home after you were born, a rose fell on your head, so I named you after Rose." And then Lily was like, "Well, how did I get my name?" She asked her mom. And the mom was like, "Well, on the way home, a lily fell on your head, so I named you after Lily." And then Brick went up to her mom and said, "Welcome back to all." Holy shit, that has got to be the worst fucking intro I've ever done. It's like way up there. Like, especially in the revival phase that I started, like, I think 3 weeks ago with episode 12. The men want to date their mom episode, right? No, I guess that's the worst one because, like, I didn't even prepare a joke for that one. I was like, "Oh, I'm back, whatever, blah, 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 blah." And then I was like, "Yo, welcome back to Almost Funny," or some shit like that. That's how I started for that one. So this is the second worst. Fuck yeah. So there has been something worse. So I'm happy with that. I'm fine with the fact that there has been something worse than like this one with this joke. But this joke is funny. It's like not even because like it's not even because like the joke was bad. The joke is really fucking funny. It's just like it wasn't a lot of effort maybe. Like give me a second. I didn't like I like to put effort into the intros. I think I did a little bit in episode 13, with the what the fuck did I say? Like some shit like, "Oh, my brother was gone." I was like, "Oh, it's hard to be funny when you're sad," or some shit. That was like something. But then this one is like, oh, like this one is just a joke. And then I ended it by saying, "Oh, welcome back to the podcast," the name of the podcast, right? So yeah, I could do better. I'll get better at it, the intros and shit. But yeah, again, the joke is really fucking funny though. Like in and of itself, it's really fucking funny. I've said this joke to a lot of people on campus. I don't think I've gotten a reaction where it's just like deadpan, like some shit like that. I haven't gotten that shit yet. It's always it ranges between like a smile and like belly, like just belly out laughing, like just fucking dying on that joke or some shit like that. There hasn't been like a deadpan as far as I know. So yeah, it works. It's a good joke. You guys should try. Like I'm not even being sarcastic. Like that shit is fucking funny. It's about the delivery, right? That's what it is. You say it wrong, and then like you might like get like a like just some nose exhaling from like not like fucking air exhaling from your nose, like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of funny," So that comes between the range of smiling and belly laughing. But yeah, you just have to get the delivery right. And what makes it funny is, I'll tell you what makes it funny. What makes it funny is because of the fucking expectation, right? If you get the delivery wrong, at least you can bamboozle them with the expectation. That's how you get at least like a. But if you want to turn that into like a belly laughing, you have to get the delivery right. But if you don't get the delivery right, at least you'll be guaranteed like air getting exhaling from your nose. You'll be guaranteed that. Why? Because of the expectation. Now the expectation is like, you hear the three daughters. You hear the three daughters. You're like, okay, Rose, Lily, and Brick. You're like, okay, whatever, that's their names. And then you hear the first one. You're like, how did I get my name? And then the mother's like, "Oh yeah, you on the way home, a rose fell on your head, and that's why I named you Rose, right?" And then the audience member or whoever you're telling the joke to is like, "Oh, okay, so the joke is gonna be like Brick, alright? So the brick fell on her head, and that's how she got the name, whatever, all that shit, right?" But you don't. That's what you expect, right? But what you don't expect is the sound, because the joke then is like the brick fell on her head like in such a way that it destroyed like her ability to fucking speak like coherently. So the subversion of expectations. Like that's what we call in the biz, subversion of expectations. Trains. Did you expect that? No. Was that funny? Probably, if you have a shitty sense of humor like I do. But yeah, that's one of the. That's not even a good fucking example of subversion. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's a good joke. I'm not even messing with you guys. You should actually try this shit. Just try to like get the delivery right. All right, just do that, and you'll get like a combo of the expectation and the delivery, and then you just get some laugh. It has worked a lot. Like I can't remember it not working, or like maybe I repressed that memory if it not working. I'm just telling you, it works. Fucking hell. Oh shit. Oh yeah. What the fuck was I gonna talk about? All right. Yeah. The he's literally me genre. I was gonna talk about that. I want to talk about this shit for the longest time. Like probably I don't know. I don't know if the trend died on, but like whatever. I'll just say it. So like the trend, he's literally me genre of on YouTube or like on reels, just any shorts wherever you can get that shit, or like just in videos, like so that genre or trope or whatever. If you guys have no fucking idea what that is, I'll just play a clip. Like I'll either play a video like right here, or I'll just play a clip. All right, you saw that shit, right? So basically, you saw like I think you saw an edit of, or like I'm assuming the editor saw this, gonna put a clip of like some movie scenes that are like spliced together with the song, like a synthwave song, and it's just characters being looking sad and like lonely and shit, right? And that's what that is exactly. It's like he's literally me basically means people who relate to those characters in that movie. That's why they say he's literally me. But like obviously they get the literally word wrong, as you know, as people do. It's very fucking common to get literally wrong. What they're trying to say is like, okay, I'm gonna go off on another fucking tangent. When they say literally, right? When it's like, oh my god, I literally, killed myself or some shit, or like I'm literally dying. They're not actually dying. They're just saying they're figuratively dying, but they're saying literally to like make it more spicy. It's more spicy to say, oh, I'm literally dying from this, instead of, oh, I'm dying from this. So like they mean figuratively, but they just say literally to just fuck with you. Like, holy shit, are you actually dying? Do I need to call the ambulance or some shit? That's how shit. That's how like someone who doesn't know the misuse of literally, how everyone like someone who doesn't know how the common people use literally would interpret it as like, holy shit, I need to call the ambulance, and they're like, no, I meant like I'm dying from this funny TikTok I saw on TikTok, right? Anyway, back to the thing. He's literally me. What they're trying to say is the characters they saw in the movie are them. They represent like the lonely, like all that shit, right? Or loneliness, basically. That's the main like theme in all of them. I think the loneliness. Like the examples of like movies like Taxi Driver, Drive, Blade Runner 2049, Nightcrawler, Fight Club, and like Joker, right? So all these characters, like, they have a very common theme, which is like they're like kind of people who are like lonely. They're like reserved. They have like some deep rooted issues, or some like they're like the silent, like strong types, and they kind of have this aura of mystery to them. Like they don't like talk about how they feel, or like they do, but like not to people in the movie. Like it's either through like a narration form, like in like Fight Club and Mr. Robot. Like that's another example. They like kind of narrate it to like, or they have an imaginary friend or some shit like that. But they also have like, all of them have in common is like them, kind of letting their emotions out, or like their reserve emotions out through like criminal shit, like crimes and stuff. Like all the movies that I mentioned has some sort of like crime to it, like either for like the good kind of crime or the bad kind of crime. The good kind of crime, as in like in Blade Runner 2049, where like I think the main guy like fights someone to the death or some shit. Like the villain, I forgot how it goes. Like, but basically it's like he shoots the villain or something, and like he saves Harrison Ford's character so he can go see his daughter, right? Again, that's a good kind of crime, right? Because he, like, it's still a crime kind of, right? The shooting and stuff, like, I guess not. I guess the word is wrong of crime. What I'm trying to say is violence, right? So the good kind of violence and bad kind of violence. Majority of them are the bad kind of violence. I think like movies like Drive and Nightcrawler, Fight Club, even Joker, they're like the movie ends where like they do some bad shit, but like that's how it is. So like that's a very common theme. But that the violence part doesn't really have to do, like, I don't think it has much to do with the main like the main emotion that everyone's trying to get out of it. The he's literally me. When people say the he's literally me, they're trying to mean the reserved, the silent, the strong, like the lonely part of those characters, not the fucking violent part of them. I think that's what they're trying to get at. And like it started getting popular actually very recently, I think like 4 months ago or some shit. And like I as I do, as one does, or like not one, maybe I did it, so I started making fun of it. Because like it's like he's literally me, like, come on, you're trying to say you're a fucking criminal or some shit. It's like, oh shit, he's literally me. I do fucking be a getaway driver for my fellow criminals and drive them around, and we rob banks and shit. I do want to start a fucking Project Mayhem and destroy 8 buildings and just blow them shit up and start an underground fight club so we can beat shit up. I do want to do that. He's literally me, bro. So it's so fuck. I do want to shoot the mayor. I do want to plan an assassination on the president or whatever. Some shit like that. But yeah, that's why it's funny, right? That's why like I made fun of it. Like I posted this on my story on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, posted some shit like I didn't like, what the fuck did I post? It was like some shit like I have been sharing too much lately. I have to watch Drive 2011, which is like the ultimate like he's literally me movie. Like if you're Ryan Gosling is like the most popular in the whole like genre or like trope or whatever. Like there's like so many movies and TV shows, but like he's the one that's like the what do you say, that he's like the A-list actor. He's like the Tom Cruise. He's like the Iron Man. He's like the Captain America of the he's literally me genre. He's the most popular one. Not very like, not the nation. And that's because like that's not even like because of like how he looks like. He's just he's in a lot of movies where he portrays the role of the he's literally me. Like Drive, Blade Runner 2049, The Place Beyond the Pines, and I think there's like one more I can't like think of. But yeah, he's kind of typecasted into these roles, so it's like natural to be like the most prominent one, because he fucking nails that shit. That's what he said. Like, you feel it, like whatever emotion he's feeling, like you can fucking feel it. Like, when he's sad, when he's happy. It's fucking, he's a good fucking actor. He's like, I think he's kind of underrated, if I do say so myself. Like he has a very reserved performance, and you'd think that a reserved performance is like means like, oh, he's doing a bad performance. But no, like I think doing a reserved performance is maybe just as hard as doing like a very like vibrant performance as well, right? Because like you have to work off of so much little. You have to be like, you have to express happiness, you have to express sadness, you have to express anger just by like not saying much. He has like, he doesn't have a lot of dialogue, right? Ryan Gosling in a lot of these movies, he's just like very like silent, and like I think he nails that shit. I think I get why he gets typecasted, because he fucking nails that strong character shit. But and then like, as I said, like I made fun of them, right? And then like I started like watching like edits of them, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of edits of anything. Like the common ones are like the relationship, like the relationship ones where like it's like a maybe like it's like a fucking breakup scene, or like a scene where they like tell how much they love each other or some shit, and they're like the sharpness of the video is like 1000, and they have like fucking 200 filters on it, and like they have some fucking high pitched song underneath it, and some just weird ass edit or some shit, and like the beat drops and like doom doom some shit like that. Not a big fan of it. I'm not saying like they shouldn't exist. I get that, some people use that to cope or whatever, and they put it on the stories. That's fine. Just not my cup of tea, or like I find them cringe. That's what I'm trying to say personally again. But then like I saw edits of he's literally me genre, right? And I was like, damn, like holy shit, am I turning into the cringe? Am I the cringe? Am I the one? Like I became the thing I swore to destroy. And it was funny because like I tried to get it. I really did. Like, like I just started. I don't fucking know how to explain it, but like I just started liking the edits. I really did. Like, but not like they weren't like the fucking annoying ones where like they put shit ton of filters and like there's so much text and on the screen on. No, they were like, I mean, they were in the same like area as the those edits, but they weren't obnoxious. They were like pretty chill. But all I'm saying is just I get it, like, because it's not even like the edits, just the movies in general. It's like I thought I was okay. I guess I think I have to like explain this as well. Like I thought I was the only one, or like not the only one. Like I thought I was like a select few of those people who like get those like lonely characters in those movies. Like I've tried to like replicate that feeling of loneliness in my short films as well. Especially in like I think Confession and maybe Insomnia as well. And I always wanted to make a movie where I portrayed loneliness, but the problem was like I didn't want it to come off as those cliche. Like there's so many fucking sad, sobby short films on YouTube, and I didn't want to like come off that way. I wanted to be like based off of something that's like I wanted like a solid ground where it's like bouncing off of. I didn't want loneliness for the sake of loneliness. I didn't want that shit. I wanted to come off of something, right? Maybe that's why I haven't made a short film in fucking 3 years. But no, I'm just like I'm just that type of guy. I don't want it to be for the sake of being lonely. So to see like people use these edits and like bring out like make it popular, I was like, oh shit. So like I'm not the only one who feels that way. I'm not the only one who sees like the loneliness and the relatableness from these like clips, even though they're fucking criminals. They're pretty much criminals. Like I'm not the only one who sees that shit. I was like, holy shit, that kind of gives you the comfortableness of that shit, right? Like it makes you comfortable. You feel comfort. You feel like you belong. You're like, holy shit, damn, And yeah, again, that even like motivates me even more to make something like that. I might make it eventually. I don't know. But again, I won't just do it for the sake of loneliness. Like, I don't know. I'm not fucking sure. I don't know. But I want to do it though. Who knows? Like maybe that's stopping that's stopping me from making short films. What if I should be like, fuck it, I'll make the short film for the sake of being loneliness. I should be like that, But no, I don't know. Fucking no. I wanted to have the character had to have an actual reason to be lonely, so I can like show the scenes of being lonely. I don't know, but I think what I got from all of this is like the relatableness comes from like these characters being like the silent, like the lonely and reserved type, right? And it's like I get it, because I'm not saying you should be like this, but all I'm saying is like sometimes you just want to be like, you know what, fuck everyone and everything. I don't want to tell people how I feel. Just fuck that shit. That shit's overrated as hell. And if people come up to me and ask me how I'm doing, I'll be like, yeah, I'm doing great, right? And I don't care if they think I'm lying. In fact, I want them to think I'm lying just so I can get the aura of mystery. And I want them to fucking read my mind, because I can fucking read my own mind. Can't read my fucking mind. So yeah, sometimes it do be like that, and bruh. Yeah. Holy shit. Fucking, I hope I didn't project or anything. But you get what I'm saying, right? You just want to be. Sometimes you just want to be like, just whatever, man. Like, like, because that's what these characters are in the movie as well. Like, they like let out their like emotions and their like how they're feeling, through like violence or some shit, right? But like, you can't obviously like do that in real life. You can't fucking blow up 8 buildings unless you want to. Like, if you want to do that shit, fucking call me, text me, email me right now. Let's blow up some shit. I want to see that shit. It has been a long time since I've seen something blown up. The last time I saw something blown up was on YouTube. Yeah. So I want to see something being blown up in real life. So just hit me up. We'll do that shit together. But yeah, you can't blow up fucking 8 buildings. You can't try to assassinate like a politician or something. You can't try to assassinate. You can't fucking kill your own. Like, let your friend die in a like a news like hunt or some shit. Night crawling and stuff. So like, what the fuck was I trying? What the fuck was I trying to get? But yeah, what the fuck am I trying to say? Holy shit, I forgot what I'm trying to say. Yeah, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is like, you just sometimes you just be like, whatever, man. I don't want to like tell them how I feel. So, but I do not recommend that at all, because what I believe is like, you have to kind of like whatever like you reserve about yourself, right? You have to like if you reserve your emotions, like especially those like really hard ones, like the sad ones and the anger ones, you're gonna let them out eventually, one way or another. Like maybe in like little bits, or like the entire thing in like in its entirety, like just some blow up on someone. So it's better to like just like, if you have some shit, right, or something, just like let it out to someone, or some like just anything, right? Or like maybe find a medium or something. Like art is a really good, like even the podcast, I would say. So like, you start a podcast or some shit, just talk to yourself, just anything to let it out. Because like, if you again reserve that shit and you just keep bottling that shit down, it's gonna come out one way or another, right? For me, like personally, I guess I'm gonna get personal. Yeah, for me, like I kind of use like comedy and like sarcasm as a way to like kind of let some shit out, right? And if I'm like super like if it's a lot of shit that I'm bottling, then I would like be like very sarcastic, like super sarcastic. And sometimes I end up being an asshole, but then I have to like tell myself, okay, like I'm being an asshole right now, stop doing that shit. So then I like just let it out some other way, through by talking to a friend, or just anything. It can be a lot of things. But yeah, just like, you can relate to those characters, but like, don't be the silent type. Or like, if you're gonna be the silent type, just let it out some other way that's like healthy, right? Don't be those guys in the fucking movie. Be better than that. Just use them as a way to like feel comfortable, or like feel like you're not alone. But like, be better than those guys by being open about your shit, being open about your emotions, as much as you can. Because again, I mean, you can't always be open about your shit, but try as much as you can. And I think you'll be on a path to greatness. You'll be on a path to being a better version of yourself, right? Just do that shit. Yeah, the milk tastes very milky today. I wonder why. Why does the milk taste very milky? I guess it has to do with the milk. It's the milk properties in the milk molecules. That's what's making the milk taste very milky today. Improv. That's what I was. Speaking of improv, that's such a good transition into like what I was gonna talk about as well. I was thinking about this shit like a few hours before this podcast. Like I don't know if you guys know, but I got heavily inspired by Cody. He's Insanely Chill podcast. So that's a solo podcast. I think he started like 5 years ago, and he restarted again, I think 2 weeks ago again. And basically, he has the same format as like what I do. He fucking talks to himself for like, but he talks to himself for like 45 minutes to an hour, and it's pretty much the same as me. Like I talk to myself for like 30 minutes ish, but it's the same shit, same principle. You're talking to yourself. That's a podcast, and you talk about like random shit. There's no like one single thing. I'm not talking about just sports or like cars or some shit. I'm talking about whatever interests me, right? That's the format. Where he's literally me for real. He's just like me for real. Cody just like me for real. He's stealing my shit, man. Imagine fucking stealing from my podcast, even though I started like fucking 6 months ago or something. Holy shit. Yeah, whatever. Shit joke. But yeah, that's the same format, right? And I noticed like I was watching his older stuff, right? And I noticed that he like he just does it. I don't think he has anything like saved to talk about, or like he does, like he has it on notes, but he doesn't have some shit like, oh, okay, this is how the intro is gonna be. I'm gonna like do this, and then the intro plays, and then I'm gonna start talking about this, and I'm gonna make sure that I talk about this topic for like 15 minutes so I get to talk about the other. No, he just like goes off and on and on until like he gets like, he's all joked out. He says all what is there to be said. All the jokes are like done, and then he moves on to the next topic if he has time. If he has no time, he'll be like, okay, I'm gonna cut the podcast short. But again, he goes from 45 minutes to an hour or some shit. And I kind of like that shit, honestly. I really respect, not even respect, I just like, I love the like just go with the flow. You don't have like, you're not putting a reservation for your topics. You're like, okay, I'm gonna just talk about it and see where it goes. Just whatever, fucking like whenever it ends, if whenever it ends, that's when I'll stop the podcast, right? And I love like he has no other thing is like he doesn't have a setup like the older ones. He just doesn't have a setup. He just does it wherever. He does it in the fucking living room, the kitchen, the table, like he's a fucking bedroom. He just does it, and he's like, all right, that's the podcast, right? And I love that shit. And that's how I kind of started off as well. Like that's how I wanted to do it as well, minus the setup thing. The setup was like, okay, I'm gonna have a setup, but I'm gonna keep the first part, which is like just talk about what comes to my mind. Like I'll keep a list of it. Like he does that too. He has a list of it, but he doesn't like strictly abide to it, right? He doesn't keep a reservation for his topics. I did, like not for the first like 3 or 4. I didn't do that, but then eventually I started like taking it. I don't know. I think it has to do with me taking it more seriously or something. But like he did it for a good 4 years. Like he still kept doing it. So does that count as not serious? No, that's just as serious as mine. But I don't know, for me I think it has to do with just like, I think it's like maybe I don't want to bore you guys, or like I don't want it to be like just like whatever. Like I wanted to be prepared, right? If I'm like not prepared, then I'll just talk about whatever and it just doesn't end, or like what I'm talking about is not as interesting. So I have to be like, okay, this is the podcast I have to record this time. I have to think of like 3 topics I'm gonna like talk about this. Then I keep like a kind of a small mental script in my mind. I'm like, okay, I have to talk like this. I have to talk about it for like this long so I could time to talk about some other shit, right? And yeah, it's like, I don't know, I think it's just a thing with like when you start taking podcasts seriously, I think, or like when you start taking shit seriously, you're like, you don't want to, the more like the episode, okay, I'm finally gonna catch my camera being shut off in like 3 seconds, like 1 2 3, finally fucking caught it. I did get it before as well, but this is the second time I'm catching my fucking camera shutting off for 30 minutes. Anyway, I think it's a thing like where you keep making it, right? And you realize that, oh shit, people actually do give a shit about, the podcast, or like some people do. So you kind of start taking it seriously. So you're like, okay, I can't fuck it up. I have to keep a script and all that shit, right? But I still kind of miss that shit. I still kind of miss the first first 1, 2, 3 episodes that I made, where I was like, whatever. I have 3 topics. I can talk about the first one for the entire fucking episode, and then I'll save the rest two for the rest episode. But now I'm like, okay, I have to talk about this and this, so I can fit as much content as I can, like the trending and the good topics, so I can fit in like one video, so I can like not rank or like just have some shit instead of just one topic for the whole 30 minutes. So yeah, I think I'm thinking of going back to like that style of like making the podcast. Not worry much about how to make a fucking intro, but I do kind of enjoy doing the intros. What if I can do some shit like where like I might like have like a small script, or like have something planned out for the intro, and then after the intro's done, I'll just improv the entire thing. Or like, I mean, I already do that, but as in like wherever it goes, like who cares if I talk about that shit for like the entire podcast, some shit like that, right? I'm thinking of I think I'm doing some shit like that. And yeah, insanely chill, right? The podcast that Koriko is doing, he restarted that shit again like after 4 or 5 years, and like he has the fucking setup now. Like motherfucker has like the fucking Shure microphone, and like it's like this like fucking table, and like the insanely chill logo. Like I'll put a screenshot. It looks fucking sick as shit. That looks fucking good, right? And but I don't know. The thing like like kind of that's weird is like when some shit gets bigger, right? When shit like grows into something that's like bigger than them, right? Like the podcast went from like him being in his living room just talking to himself like in a mic, like not that very expensive mic, to like a big fucking setup, like wooden table, like the logo on his back, merch and all that shit, and the Shure microphone. Like when shit like that gets big, right, it kind of loses its like, I won't say spark, I don't know if that's the right word. It loses its like like feeling of like damn bro, like it doesn't have that, I don't know how to say, like is it the nostalgia or something, or like just that home feeling or something, if that makes any sense. Like imagine like this setup, right? Like I'm here like talking, imagine like me in like a fucking big ass studio, like with a Shure microphone, all the shit. Like yeah, it's like official, like this audio sounds fucking good, like, and there's like multiple cameras and like all that shit. But like you kind of lose that feeling of like damn bro, like like example of like Spider-Man, right? Like Spider-Man is like the neighborhood, like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But when he becomes an Avenger, right, you can't it kind of loses its like neighborhood, like that feeling of like groundedness, I guess. Maybe that's what, no, I don't think that's the right word. Like Cody was still grounded, but like I don't know what the fucking word is, but I think you get what I'm saying, right? Like he went from Spider-Man, like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, to like being an Avenger, like he's one of the big groups now. Like another example would be like if a small artist like you guys listen, is like very indie, or like he or she like very indie, and suddenly they get popular and they become like bigger than themselves, and like they're like everyone knows them now, and like it's just like they kind of lose their like feeling of like that older feeling. You're like damn bro, like you know what I'm saying. But for Cody, it's not the popular feeling, it's just like him. I don't know, maybe I'm just growing old. Like I'm not a big fan of his like recent content. I don't know. And maybe I'm just blaming it on the fucking setup. Like, oh, it's the Shure microphone. It's just a good microphone. Oh, it's that wooden table that you're using. That's why your content fucking sucks. It doesn't suck. It's just like it doesn't hit as much. But I don't know. Is it because I'm blaming it on like him like getting so big that he has so many like they have so many podcast shows, like he's on the TMG podcast, and they made it into a network, so they have so many fucking podcasts. So is it because like they've grown into something really fucking huge, that's why they lost their like spark? I guess I'm just gonna use that word because I can't think of it. Or is it because like I'm just growing old and like I don't find what they like make as funny as they as they used to? I know it could be age, um, or something like that. Because like I look at the views, right, and they don't get as much views, like even on the TMG and the Codico channel, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one. But then I look at channels like Curtis Connor and Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez, and they get like a shit ton of views. And especially Curtis Connor and Danny Gonzalez, like they get views, right, on all that shit. And even though like they get views, I still don't watch their content. So it's like, or maybe it's just them, Codico, not, or like no, Codico and Norman are not being as good as they used to, because Danny Gonzalez and Curtis Connor are, they're still doing the commentary videos and they're still fucking like rocking that shit. And even though I don't watch any of this stuff, so maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just maybe I'm just growing old. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Maybe I'm not a big fan of commentary channels as much, even though I like doing it sometimes. That's this what the fuck all fucking podcast is. So yeah, I don't know. It's fucking getting old, man. What can I say? Yeah. I think I'll end it here. Actually, that was. I think I had fun. Actually, I had fun making this episode. Thank you guys. If you watched it till here, put a emoji of the film, the film emoji. It's like, I think it's like a fucking camera with like, it has like two wheels on it or some shit. I don't know what that is. Just put that shit, because that's what I talked about, film. And I don't think there's a YouTube emoji, so just fucking, I don't know, just put the film like emoji, like that comes under YouTube as well, because YouTube is kind of film if you think about it. Film, I'm filming a video, film, that's where the word comes in. So put the film emoji thing, or the movie, or the clapper, whatever like works, just anything that's fucking film related. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. And the next one, you guys might like that, because I had a lot of fucking fun making the next one. So I'll see you then. Peace.